Barcelona currently sit top of the Liga with 27 out of a possible 30 points, and I believe that is down to one very underrated player. I'm not talking about Lamine Yamal, I'm not talking about Lewandowski, not Dani Olmo, not Pedri, I'm talking about their Brazilian superstar, Raphinha. Now, Raphinha has been simply sensational this season. He's already joint top in Europe's top 5 leagues with Lamine Yamal and Bukayo Saka for the most goal-creating actions. And he's doing this in a brand new role. Now, last season he actually ranked up 13 goal-creating actions, which is 2 more than what he's currently on. But he got that number having played 24 more games than what he currently has. So you'd almost bet your life on the fact that he's going to beat last season's statistics. And to put that 13 in context, that was the 98th best in Europe. And to make that even worse, that is the same as Anthony Elanga and Benjamin Hendricks. So I wanted to know, what on earth is going on? How is he so good? Why is he not getting spoken about him enough? I mean, he scored a hat-trick against Bayern Munich in their 4-1 win in the Champions League earlier this week, and he's still not even the most talked about Brazilian left winger from a La Liga club. We all know who I'm talking about. But I think he should be. And my aim today is to prove to you how I think Raphinha is arguably one of the best players in Europe right now, and how Hansi Flick's new system has made him look sensational. Now, at the end of last season, a lot of Barcelona fans, and actually a few members on the board as well, were willing to let Raphinha go. He didn't have the best season. He just didn't look like the club was the right fit for him. And so they were willing to listen to big money offers should they come in, and they wouldn't stand in Raphinha's way. And I've actually got an article here. This is some quotes from former Barcelona captain Tente Sanchez. And he said, if there's a possibility that Raphinha could leave and we could get some money, I'd sign Nico Williams. We all know that Barcelona will link with Nico Williams over the summer and they couldn't get the deal done. If they got in enough money from Raphinha, I do think they would have done it. But he then goes on to say that it was reported that the Brazilian was offered to a number of different clubs over the off-season, so they were willing to listen for offers. But the main changing point here is the new incoming Hansi Flick. With Hansi Flick coming in, he let the players choose who's going to be the new captain. It's pretty standard in football clubs. The people in the dressing room choose who their captain's going to be. But it wasn't the likes of Lewandowski or Koundé or Pedri or Ter Stegen. They gave it to Raphinha. Raphinha was a surprise pick for those outside the dressing room's inner sanctum. But it's worked for him. And I actually think that giving him that extra responsibility is a massive reason behind Raphinha's success so far. He goes on to say, the confidence and the trust that my coach and teammates have put in me is very important for me. And he said that the mindset with which I started this season is different compared to last season. So that shows that Raphinha's determination, his responsibility to carry the team a little bit or to put an extra shift in is really evident. And I think that it's starting to translate onto the pitch a little bit. Now, it's all well and good having a good mindset and having a positive attitude, but it's how does it actually translate on the football pitch that's making Raphinha look so good? And to understand that, we have to understand Hansi Flick's tactics and how he's setting up Barcelona at the moment. And they actually begin lining up in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. It varies a little bit. You see Dani Olmo starts as the attacking midfielder and Raphinha off the left, but it's not surprising to see Raphinha central or maybe Ansu Fati or Ferran Torres off the left instead. But arguably, where Raphinha actually lines up on the pitch doesn't really matter anyway. And we're going to take a look at why. Now, I'm actually going to take a look at how Barcelona, first of all, line up when they don't have the ball. What is their out-of-position structure? Say the opposition have a back four like so, a goalkeeper, and a midfield two like this. If this is the position of the opposition, that's a tongue twister. If this is the position of the opposition, you'll actually see Dani Olmo and Lewandowski drop into a deeper two in a 4-2-2. And this means that they can block the passing lanes. If the goalkeeper's got the ball, it blocks the passing lanes into the sixes because Dani Olmo and Lewandowski are covering that. So instead, how do they press the ball? Raphinha and Yamal curve their runs in an inverted run. They become inverted wingers, almost becoming strikers in this system, and they block off any passes over the top to the fullbacks by using their cover shadow so that they can quickly track back if they need to. But then they also apply pressure to the centre back, so if this pass does happen, they've got someone there waiting to win the ball back. Same on this side, Yamal's there ready to pounce. So then they try and trap the goalkeeper. Raphinha and Yamal keep curving their run and eventually put pressure on the goalkeeper to limit time and space. Obviously, then you do risk this happening. Lewandowski comes across, Pedri will come across. They are really quick in their pressing. But we know this is effective, and we actually saw it against Bayern Munich, where Raphinha and Lamine Yamal both curved their run to try and press Manuel Neuer, and it nearly cost Bayern Munich a goal. Neuer was trapped, he didn't have enough time with the ball, Yamal got a touch on it, and luckily for Bayern, it didn't end up in the back of their net. But we showed how good this press is, and it's all part of Hansi Flick's gegenpressing. He's a German coach. We know the likes of Jurgen Klopp, Julian Nagelsmann, Ralf Rangnick, Fabian Herzl, all imposing this gegenpress system where their teams try and win the ball as high up the pitch as possible. And it's really imperative to how Barcelona are playing this season. And in fact, in the final third, they're actually sensational. No team in the Liga makes more attacking third tackles per 90 than they do, and it's proving to have its benefits. The moment they lose the ball, they can win it back, and by winning the ball higher up the pitch, by winning the ball in this area of the pitch, it means you don't have to transition. You are already in the danger zone where you can attack space, you can catch the opposition's confused structure out and try and get a shot away. And that's what Barcelona have been doing, and actually have scored a few times from this as well. However, it's actually on the ball where we've seen Raphinha come to life. Flick wants his team to play a very fluid, a very vertical style of football, where they just pretty much try and attack as quick as possible. And that's fair enough. It's football. We all enjoy it. It tries to utilise space in between the lines to play progressive passes into the final third, to get the ball into the feet of their attacking midfielders, into Lewandowski as quick as possible. And understandably so. And in fact, Hansi Flick even said, with the ball, everyone has to feel free that he can give the best he can. That means that there's a very fluid motion in the attack. The left winger doesn't have to stay at left wing. They can drift deep. They can come over to the right. Lewandowski can come deeper. Olmo can go in behind. It's just so fluid to the point where it confuses the opposition's press, the opposition's defence, and it opens up gaps in between their defensive lines, which Barcelona can then exploit. And what this really epitomises is the concept of relationism. Real Madrid do it as well. It means where you don't have to have a rigid structure. It means if the attackers have a really good combination play and they understand each other well, they can use their link-up play, they can use their chemistry to construct their attacks instead. And it also means the opposition don't know what they're going to do. You're not going to have a right back tracking Raphinha all the way onto the left side of the pitch, or vice versa. You're not going to have the left back track Lamine Yamal going all the way across the pitch. Eventually it's going to become a point where they are confused and don't know who's picking up who. But they play really punchy, penetrative passes. If we've got the ball here, Martinez will look for passes into Pedri directly. It's not like they'll play it wide back, create a few passing angles and then go forward. If they can, they would play this pass, a long, flat, punchy pass through the thirds, breaking the opposition's press. And it's risky, because if you get caught out, then you can be counter-attacked on. But they are really progressive in their passing, and in fact they are second in Europe at the moment for final third entry passes this season, and only Real Madrid have more. And I like it. I really like it. Their build-up shape is really interesting as well, because they don't go for a typical really narrow, congest the middle of the pitch, play load of tiki-taka football. They stick to their structure, but they go wide. They stretch the opposition as much as they possibly can. You'll see Raphinha hug the touchline as much as possible, and you'll often actually see the ball side fullback stays a bit deeper. Casado might drop a bit deeper as well, and the opposite side fullback will attack. But it also means that they can find these switches. The opposition's defence is in this kind of position, but where they're so wide, it means that they have to come into this kind of position. They go more zonal, they move across the pitch, but you can see now Raphinha is isolated, and if Koundé's got the ball, Kubasi's got the ball, they can play this pass, and they play it with confidence. And we actually see this quite a lot from Barcelona. And in fact, Barcelona are second in Europe at the moment for switches per 90, with 4.9 switches a game. So they are doing it time and time again. Let's take a look at it in action. So this is in the game against Villarreal, and I want to use this game and some highlights from it actually to really compare it to the Bayern Munich game that we saw earlier this week, and look at how Raphinha is just simply incredible in this setup. So you can see Barcelona here. Koundé's got the ball in this right centre-back position, and actually this is a really nice photo to show their 3-1-6 or 3-1-3-3 progressive structure. You've got the 3 defenders here, you've got the CDM here, you've got 3 in this line here, and then you can't see Lamine Yamal, but he's also in the attacking line of picture. So, in this situation, what do you think Koundé's going to do? Maybe he can play a ball into Gabassi. Maybe he can try and push a pass into the middle of the pitch, or maybe he goes out wide to try and find Lamine Yamal in space. No, that's too easy. And actually, you can't see it because I took a screenshot at the wrong time, but in a couple's frames time, Lewandowski actually points at Raphinha and goes, over there, in a Polish accent, of course. So in this situation, Koundé plays a brilliant pass out wide to Raphinha, who's hiding out here on this far side of the pitch, and we see that here we go. He's got a lovely little moment here, and he actually cushions the ball really nicely into the path of Lewandowski. But what I really like is then his movement after the pass. He doesn't play a pass and then stay on the wing. He plays the pass, and look where he is now. This is Raphinha here. That's him in an attacking zone. He's come central. Now, he doesn't actually get anything from this moment. Tor plays a pass into Lewandowski, and Lewandowski does score. But Raphinha plays the pass and moves central. And actually, if you take a look at his heat map for this game, even though he started left wing, you wouldn't be able to tell based on where he's been having the ball. He's all over the shot. And he's primarily central, actually. He stays on the left wing in transition, but he comes central at every opportunity that he can get. And we actually see this threat again in the same game where he comes central. This is for the 4-1 goal. This game finished 5-1, by the way. Ridiculous game. Barcelona won 5-1. This is for Barcelona's 4th goal. So we can see here the ball's over on the side. Nothing too fancy. Here is Raphinha, chilling over here. Let me see if I can highlight him. Can I do that? Here he is. There he is. That's Raphinha there, in between the lines, kind of in some space in Villarreal's 4-4-2 structure. He's just in a bit of space. That's it. Pretty simple. Nothing exciting yet. The ball then moves. There we go. I needed to move the slide along. Now the ball actually comes wide to the left wing position. It's actually the left back. It's Martin that's got the ball here. But instead of Raphinha making this kind of run in between the back in case a cross comes in, he just holds back. He just lingers in zone 14, and he stays there and hovers for so long until eventually a 1-2 is played. Pau Victor and Martin link up a little bit, and it's a position where you'd expect Raphinha to be on that left wing position, but no, he's still central, and he actually holds back a little bit. Despite the play progressing in the box, he stays a bit deeper in space so that he can receive the ball in case there's a cutback, and lo and behold, the ball gets cut back, and he strikes it in for the 4th goal for Barcelona. And that's again where he's showing his threat is coming from central areas, despite starting on the left, because he's popping up all over the place. He's not a left winger, he's not a cam. He's just wherever he wants to be. But the real benefit, arguably, from Raphinha being able to drift across that front attacking line is that he's both able to be involved in the link-up play, but he can also create really dangerous opportunities from dangerous areas. We see Cole Palmer do it a lot at Chelsea. It's a similar kind of position on the other side of the pitch, where he can roam. He can go wherever he wants, pick up the ball from deep, maybe progress it forward, or he can maybe stay wide, come inside and play a really nice cross into the box. And it's just really impressive. But what you get from Raphinha that you don't get from the likes of Cole Palmer or Phil Foden is the ability to play off the last line as well and use his pace, use his dribbling to get in behind the opposition's defence. So Barcelona actually play 3.4 through balls per 90 this season, which is the joint second best in Europe, and it is by far the most in La Liga. And when you've got the likes of Lewandowski up top, he's not exactly the man that you've got pace with. He's not going to be running in behind and causing a threat. So you need someone that can go in behind or even go one-on-one against their man, beat their man, and then get the shot away. And that's where Raphinha comes in again. He comes in clutch in these situations. He either beats his man or he plays off the last line, gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he finishes so calmly. We saw this against Bayern Munich, actually. So here we go. This is in the Bayern Munich game. The ball is right here in the centre of the pitch with Pedri. And you can see at the bottom of the picture down here, look at this. This is Raphinha. He is busting a gut. Man looks like Usain Bolt. He is sprinting forward. He is going. He's off on one. And you can see here, Bayern Munich have a bit of a bizarre defensive line here. Upamecano and Kim Min-jae are a little bit out of position. Now the ball actually gets played out wide to Lamine Yamal. Now you can actually see in the centre of the pitch here, Lewandowski is making a forward run into central space, and Kim Min-jae is coming across to cover that off. But you then get this isolation down here of Upamecano versus Raphinha. Guess who's going to win that battle? Put your bets in now. Who is winning in the fight between Upamecano and Raphinha? Well, let's move on. And here we go. Here's your answer. Kim Min-jae has had to go forward and then retreat again because Lamine Yamal just plays some sensational pass over the top into Raphinha, and he's now the last man on the last line, and he is going this way. That's the only way he's going to go. And let's progress it on. He takes it forward. He takes a brilliant strike into that far corner with that wand of his left foot. And there we go. It's now 4-1 for Barcelona. That is how ridiculous this goal was. So simple. We saw them play out from the back in a 2-pass move into Yamal, over the top, into Raphinha, and he tucks it away. And he tucks it away so calmly, so nicely. And that is his hat-trick already in the 55th minute. But if Bayern Munich had done their homework, they might have noticed this. I don't want to say that they would have been able to stop it, but they might have been able to drop their line 10 yards deeper to prevent this kind of thing from happening. But they remained trying to play their offside trap. They were insistent on playing a high line, and it caught them out. But if we look at a goal against Villarreal, this isn't that same game as the last one. This is actually the 5-1 goal now. I believe it's also Raphinha's hat-trick goal in this game. It might not be. It might have been his second goal, actually. Lamine Yamal with the ball out on this right-hand side. Guess who's here making a run? That's it. It's my boy, Raphinha. He is off on one. What I think is really interesting here, though, is you can see in this line here, if I can actually do it. There we go. In this line here, Lewandowski has come a little bit deeper, and it's attracted Gay into a more advanced position, which opens up this space between these two players for Raphinha to run into. And he does it really well. Guess where this is going to go, by the way? Guess what happens? It keeps going forward. He finds the channel between these two players, between Eric Bailly and the right back. We know who's winning the pace battle between Eric Bailly and Raphinha. And by the way, this is one of the most incredible assists you will ever see in a Modric-esque fashion with the outside of the boot. Lamine Yamal finds Raphinha in this position. Bailly's nowhere to be seen, the right back's nowhere to be seen, and he volleys it into the ground and over the goalkeeper. Lo and behold, it's 5-1. So again, same thing. We are seeing Raphinha playing on the last line. He finds the gaps between the centre-back and the full-backs, occasionally between the two centre-backs as well. They play a 1-2 combination. They make these third-man combinations to find the long balls over the top or find the through balls in behind to isolate Raphinha either against his man or one-on-one against the goalkeeper. And we know so well it's going in the back of the net. He's been so clinical this season. Now, this is all well and great. Don't get me wrong, this is great. But what makes Raphinha extra special, arguably one of the best in Europe right now, is even though you know he's going to end up in these one-on-one situations, you still don't know what he's going to do. His unpredictability is off the charts. He can go either way, and that's what causes the confusion for defenders. And the issue with the likes of Mo Salah, Mohamed Saka, with Bukayo Saka, Vinicius Jr. as well, is they all like to get in behind, but you often know what they're going to do. Now, stopping it is a completely different thing because their pace are ridiculous. Obviously, two of them have got a brilliant left foot. Vinicius, you know, is just one-on-one. You're not catching him up and he will finish his chances, but you know what they're going to do. Similarly, with the likes of Palmer and Foden, you maybe don't know what they're going to do as much, or they're too technical to be able to stop them from doing what they're going to do, and they're also really clinical at finishing, but they don't have the pace to run in the opposition's but in beyond the opposition. You're not going to see often Phil Foden or Cole Palmer being the last man on the last line, using his pace to beat the defenders and get in one-on-one against the goalkeeper. It's like happened occasionally. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not very common. It's not their main route to goal. And that's what makes Raphinha special. He's a bit of a blend of both. If you combine the attacking hybrid of the likes of Salah, Saka, Vinicius, with the technical quality of the likes of Foden and Palmer, that is similar to what Raphinha is. Now, maybe he's not necessarily a master of any of them, but he's a jack of all trades in that sense. He's just so good. I love him, by the way, if you can't tell. I love him. Let's have another look at an example. This is in the Bayern Munich game. So, the ball's just come from here. I believe, I actually don't know who's got the ball there, but long ball over the top, because as we said, we know Barcelona keep their wingers wide. I say that, Yamal's actually here, but as we mentioned earlier, in their build-up shape, they like to keep players wide or as wide as possible to keep them hugging the touchline. And what Barcelona are really good at doing is they will create these passing patterns and really congest one side of the pitch. And you can see that here. Look at all the congestion on this side of the pitch. They like to play these, not necessarily tiki-taka intricate passes for ages, but they will play 1-2 combinations to play it around the opposition until they see this underloaded opposite side of the pitch where they can play the switch, because you've got a 1 versus 1 in this situation now. And actually, depending on the pace, on another day, if Kim Min-jae and Upamecano, and I think it's actually Guerrero here, if they are slow and they can't keep up with Raphinha, Raphinha is in behind, but Guerrero retreats well. So here we go. The switch comes across. Raphinha's now got the ball. He controls it absolutely beautifully. Another chat for another day, but his ball control is ridiculous. And Guerrero is obviously retreating. He's in a right back position, so maybe it's not his natural position. He's more of a left back that can go into the midfield. Guerrero playing right back, he tracks back and he does go 1 versus 1 with Raphinha. And you can see as well, you've got Kim Min-jae recovering. Right. He's happy to take his man on. In this situation, you're probably expecting Raphinha to try and go like this and take the shot with his left foot across goal or maybe into the near post. The difference is he goes, and you can see if I zoom in a little bit, his body position is very deceitful. Guerrero is almost expecting the ball to go this way. And you can tell because he's putting his body weight leaning forward. So when Raphinha does eventually come this way instead, Guerrero's got to take that extra second to turn his body, and it means Raphinha has broken into a bit of space. And, of course, this unpredictability that we know Raphinha has. He has a left foot and he has a right foot. And in this situation, he's more than happy to use his right foot. He cuts inside and he unleashes this beautiful shot. That's actually a really bad direction of where the ball went. It goes into this far corner and it beats Manuel Neuer. And that was actually on the stroke of half-time to make it 3-1 to Barcelona. But it shows Raphinha, he's not just one-dimensional. He's not just got a left foot where he attacks the byline and crosses it. And he's not just one-dimensional where he attacks and takes the shot across the face of goal. He's able to also go on his right foot and create a little moment of magic like that. And I really think that Hansi Flick's style of play suits Raphinha perfectly. I think him having this extra responsibility as well has really aided him in his ability to show his determination on the pitch, but also just give Raphinha a little bit of space. With his dribbling ability, his finishing ability, he will take his chances. And we actually saw it at Leeds as well. We saw under Marcelo Bielsa, Raphinha was their star man, creating from deep and also being the last man in the attacking line at times, especially when you got the likes of Patrick Bamford. The likes of Patrick Bamford aren't exactly an in behind the opposition's defence kind of striker. He's more like a Lewandowski, a little bit more of a hold up, bigger kind of player, and Raphinha was doing a similar kind of thing where he would play off the last line. And he's got a wonder of a left foot, but he's also got a decent right foot. And I just think this fluid, free-moving football has really gotten them into a good position in the league, and it's gotten them into a position where Raphinha is looking like one of the best players in Europe at the moment. And I think he will go on to be arguably the best player in the Liga this season. So there you have it. I do think Raphinha is the most underrated player in Europe right now. I think his qualities are just so versatile, and I think he's a lovely hybrid of a playmaker and a winger, and a bit like a striker as well. I just think he's got a bit of everything. But it couldn't be done without Hansi Flick's very fluid and attacking style of football. And do you know who else has a very fluid and attacking style of football? It's Arne Slot at Liverpool. And if you want to see how an average, yes, I'm standing by the average claim, an average Liverpool managed to beat Chelsea, go and check this video out. You might just enjoy it. But until next time with another video, I'll see you very soon. Comment down below who's the best player in Europe right now. Is it Raphinha, Vinicius? Is it Salah, Saka, Cole Palmer? You let me know. Anyway, I'll see you very soon with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.